Hi there, this is Ken at AnyMonkey, and today I'm going to show you a demonstration on how to do a roof drawing with the site visit application to get your material takeoffs. So what I've done is I've preloaded a residential address into my admin panel, and I've downloaded it to my iPad, and this is the image that I loaded up. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to click on Draw Roof button down here at the bottom. And then when I put my finger on the screen now, it's going to create a cursor that shows up above my finger. What I do is I place the cursor on the line, on the area that I want to start on, and then I use my other hand and I tap the screen, and that enables me to start drawing the line. And when I get to the end of that line, I tap the screen again, and then I can move off in another direction. Tap the screen again, and then continue doing my drawings. So what I do is I go around and I finish my shape. And you can see that the shape started as red, all my lines were red, and then when the shape actually got finished, it turned yellow. That means that it's letting you know that you finished that shape correctly. And I start drawing again, and I want to finish my shape again. And you'll notice here now, when I bring my cursor towards this line, it'll actually, when it gets to that corner, it'll actually get bigger, and that lets you know that you're actually snapped onto that corner line. And you tap the screen and it fills the shape. So I'm just going to continue going around now and finish off my drawing. Now the difference between the application and how you would do this with a pen and paper is, a pen and paper you typically draw the outline of the roof first, and then you go around and you fill in all the details afterwards. Well, with the site visit application, you've got to do each shape one at a time. If you do the outline first, then the application will think that the outline is a shape, and then any other shape that you draw inside that, it'll double up. So you really don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're doing your drawing one shape at a time. So you can see here that I'm about to finish my drawing, and the whole thing is yellow, so I know that all my shapes are complete, and I'm ready to go with setting up my scale and identifying all my different eaves and ridges and things like that. So what I want to do now is, when I'm on site, I will have taken one measurement, and usually I try to take the longest measurement possible, because that reduces the error of any other line that might be on the roof drawing as well. So I've taken the measurement on the west side of this roof on the eave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the set scale button, and then I'm going to click on that eave, and this value box pops up. And what I'm going to do now is type in 35 feet. And if it was 35 feet 4 inches, no problem, I would go 35.4 and say OK. And what happens is that all the other lines get filled in now. All of a sudden we know the measurements of all the lines on the roof if you're looking at it on a straight down, as if all the lines were flat. Right now it assumes that all the lines are flat. So now if I go to, and I can click on details, I click more and then details, it'll actually show me that, oh, I've got a 1,500 square foot roof here. And this is with a zero pitch. You see now all those little sections have zeros on them, and the roof seems to think that it's a 012 roof. So to change that, I'm going to go click on the slope button here, and a little wheel shows up, and I'm going to, let's say this roof was a 512, and I'm going to say OK. And now if you look at the top right, an apply all button has just appeared, and you can either select the zeros independently one at a time, or you can go apply to all, and it will make all the areas on that roof a 512. So now if I go to details, it shows total area now is 1,629 square feet, because it's a 512. Now let's say that one side or more sides of this was actually an 812 or something. No problem. What I would do is I would click on slope again, go to my wheel, select 812, and then any section that was 812, I would just simply click on the 5 and it'll turn to an 8. And what that does is it automatically adjusts now if I go details, you'll see now there's an area here that says 512 and it's 1,016 square feet, and then there's an area that's 812 where 679 square feet. So it's made that adjustment for me, and this is great because now when I'm figuring out my estimate, I may have a different rate for the 512 roof and the 812 roof, so I can single those out and I can pay my guys accordingly. Okay, you can still see that there's still a bunch of zeros at the eave and the hip and the valley and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go identify these lines now. So I'm going to click on the identify button, and I'm going to use my wheel and I'm going to select eaves. And now I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to click on every single eave around this roof. And now some of the smaller lines are a little bit harder to get. Sometimes you may have to zoom down with the drawing in order to be able to get them, okay? Or you might click on another line by accident. But all you would do is you would click the zoom button and you can use your fingers and you can zoom right in there. So let's go do that. I'm going to select this ridge right here and I'm going to click on that ridge. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom back out and I'm going to click identify ridge again, and I'm going to select this last ridge that's right here. Then I'm going to do my hips and just continue around my drawing until all my hips are. Sometimes you have to click your finger a couple of times. It doesn't always get it right away, so you just got to keep clicking your finger in that area until it hits it. Okay. Sometimes just moving your finger, a millimeter to one side is enough to get it to catch the line. Then I'm going to go to my valleys, and so I have a valley here, I have a valley here, and that's it. There's my drawing. So now, if I go back and look at my details, it's going to show my eave, my hip, my valley, and my ridge. And it's also going to show my 512 area and my 812 area. One thing I've added here that some other programs don't have is I've added also a waste factor. So now I can look at this and I can say, okay, well, this roof here, the waste might be maybe 4%. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click on waste factor and I'm going to say 4, as in 4%. And you can put any number between 1 and 15% for waste factor. Okay. So now I'm going to say okay, and if I go back and look at my details, you can see that my square footages have changed on the 512 and the 812. And all my eaves and hips and valleys and everything is changed for the waste factor. That's the amount of material that's going to be that I'm going to need to order extra, because we know our guys aren't 100% efficient with the way that they use their materials. So not only do I have my square footage, but I have it adjusted. So now I don't have to do any math at all. All my numbers are there. I don't have to try and figure anything out. It's a simple, easy to use program. You can see that even with me talking into it while I was doing it, it took me less than 5 minutes to make this drawing. Okay, so that's great. Talk to you later. Bye.